Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansi. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things. And we see them. And today we have a pretty interesting show for you guys. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want today's full show, it is streaming for free on Apple Podcasts and iTunes. Podcasts and Spotify on the Dreamers Pro Podcast. We have that pinned in the comment section below. Anyway, let me get into this topic here. So today I came across a very interesting article from Front Office Sports, which had the following headline. It said, Stephen A. Smith to ESPN, I want to be the highest paid talent. So that's what Stephen A. Smith recently said, and that's the article that we really want to get into today. Now, if some of you may not be aware, and this is not the first time that Stephen A. Smith is saying this. Stephen A. Smith has made it quite clear that, number one, he makes a lot of money for ESPN, and he believes that he should be the highest paid personality at the network. And I think an argument, quite frankly, could be made, because I think that he is the most recognizable personality at the network. No one makes more news and headlines than Stephen A. Smith. So he does generate a lot of attention, and I can understand where he's coming from, because if he's looking at it like, well, who's better than me in this building? Who's better than me? Then it would be only normal for him to have these sentiments. Now, to go out there and publicly say it, that's another thing, but that may be his way of putting pressure on the company that currently employs him. And that's really what we want to get into today. But before we even get into that, this video is brought to you by our brand new sponsor, SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app with over 28 million downloads. There are more than 70,000 events every single day on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and more. And with the NFL and NBA season in full swing, SeatGeek has your tickets to every game. Now, here's the best part and the reason I absolutely love SeatGeek. They put all the tickets across the web in one place to make sure you are getting a good deal. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10. So look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. Every ticket is backed by the buyer's guarantee, and SeatGeek is the only site that lets you return your tickets ahead of the event. And we have great news for you, because we got you guys a really, really good deal. Use code DREAMERSPRO for $20 off tickets at SeatGeek. That's $20 off your first purchase with promo code DREAMERSPRO. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app. And remember, when you try SeatGeek by using the link in the description below, just know that you're helping this channel. So let me get into what this article have to say. It continues on. So after watching such talents, Troy Aikman and Pat McAfee score big deals, the host says it is his turn. It continues on. As the face and voice of ESPN, Stephen A. Smith has been patient about watching new hires like Troy Aikman, Joe Buck, Pat McAfee lead past him on the salary chart, but Smith's patience appears to be at an end. During an interview with Clay Travis' Outkick that was published Tuesday, Smith declared that he wants to be the highest paid talent at ESPN. If Disney and ESPN don't make that happen under his next contract, Smith seems to be ready to go independent. When Travis asked him if he deserves to be the highest paid talent at ESPN, Smith didn't hesitate. Yes, I'm not stuttering. Hell yes. That's an absolute yes, Smith said. I've mastered my own business in the world of sports television, Clay Travis. I've been #1 for 12 years. April 1 will mark 12 consecutive years. I've been #1. Not only have I been #1 every year, I've been #1 every week and every month of every year for the past 12 years. You don't get to say that about too many people. I look at whether it's Pat McAfee, it's Mike Greenberg, it's Scott Van Pelt, it's Troy Aikman, it's Joe Buck, it's Kirk Herbstreit. The list goes on and on. I'm so honored to have colleagues that I have that I work with at ESPN every day. At the end of the day, it would be nice for one day for this man to stand up before everyone and be like, "That's not #1," and this says I'm #1. To paraphrase Jay-Z, Smith said he's not just a talent, he's a business. He told Travis, I have my own production company. I got my own YouTube channel. I got my own show. It's not just even a podcast. It's a show with a fully loaded television studio. That's what I built for myself. That could go linear or digital. The list goes on and on. I'm doing all these things. I'm not doing all that to be in second place. I'm not doing all that to look up at somebody else to see that they're making more than me when I'm producing superior ratings and revenue. Ooh. No, I'm not doing that. And I'm not apologizing for anybody. The host of the top-rated First Take then lobbied for the contract ball into the court, then lobbed the contract ball into the court of ESPN's parent company, Disney. Again, I have great relationships and what have you, but this business and Disney has a right to run its business the way they see it. ESPN does as well. But if they do, so do I. I hope we're able to work it out. I'm confident that we will, because I'm incredibly happy there. We'll see. Smith currently makes roughly $12 million per year, but the big three budget hires have overtaken him in the last 2 years. Top Monday Night Football analyst Troy Aikman zoomed past him last year with a 5-year, $90 million contract that pays him $18 million per year. So did MNF play-by-play announcer Joe Buck, who scored a 5-year contract of $75 million, worth $15 million a year. You could also argue that the NFL in its own category for ESPN, but Pat McAfee also vaulted past Smith with a new 5-year, $80 million contract worth $16 million per annum. Will Smith be happy if ESPN ups his total pay to $20 million annually? Probably. The question is whether he has enough leverage to make more than he's making now on his show or with another network. A jump to Fox is probably off the table since it doesn't have NBA rights or a streaming platform. It's an open question. Okay, so the article goes on and on. It's a great read. You guys should definitely go check it out. So what are my thoughts on this? And you know what? I'm actually going to bring this up to Marcellus Wiley. We're going to be interviewing him today. And I think it's going to be a very interesting topic item to hear him talk about this, because he seems to know a lot about the business side of sports media. So we're definitely going to be getting him to weigh in on this particular news here. So let me get into it. Here are my thoughts on this. First of all, Stephen A. Smith has a point. I mean, if you look at the ratings, if you look at the numbers that he just read off in the quote, when he was talking to Clay Travis, those are some staggering numbers. And now you have to go out there and search, okay, well, who else is putting up these type of numbers with that level of consistency over that time period? So to me, once you start looking at that, and I'm sure that's what Stephen A. Smith is looking at, you begin to ask questions like, hey, why aren't I being compensated at the level that these guys are being compensated? Now, some people may say, oh, it's a different sport. These people are coming in with their own audiences. There's so many different things you can use to kind of rationalize what's going on. But I think that Stephen A. Smith has been aggressive about ensuring that he secures a big contract when this current contract expires, by doing things like his own show, having his own podcast, becoming a little bit more independent, going out there talking about different things. And I think that he's beginning to understand that, listen, you have to take your future into your own hands, because if you're waiting for somebody to make your dreams a reality, you're going to be very, very, very disappointed. And that's just the fact of the matter. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. The fact of the matter is simply this: you have your dreams, but it doesn't mean that your employer has your dreams in their mind, because your employer has his own dream, his or her own dreams, and they may not necessarily align with yours. I tell Marco this all the time. I said we have to be honest about where we are. For example, if you want to own a Ferrari, just to give you an example, Ferrari is going to cost you about $300,000, not counting insurance, not counting repairs. So let's say you're going to need to put aside around $400,000 for a Ferrari, right? Brand new spanking Ferrari. You then have to now ask the sobering question. Number one, am I currently doing the job that will enable me to be able to afford a Ferrari comfortably? If the answer is no, you need to slap yourself and wake the hell up. Number two, what job do I need to do to ensure that I can attain this dream? If you find yourself as an accountant, I don't know how much accountants make, but I'm pretty sure they don't make $500,000 a year. And by the way, studies have shown that most Ferrari owners make about $500,000, $750,000 a year just to be able to own one. Then you now have to understand where you need to be. And Stephen A. Smith is probably looking at ESPN and saying, well, you guys are making all this money. I'm helping you guys make all this money, but maybe you're not part of their plan in terms of what they want to do with that money. Maybe they want to go out there and source for independent guys and bring them back into the fold. And to me, Okay, I'll speak about it from a different standpoint. If I'm making 12 million a year, you're in New York, so let's say you're bringing in 5.5 million, which is, let's just ignore that. So let's say you're bringing in 6 million, right? In New York, right? Because with taxes and all of that. So I don't know. Stephen A. Smith seems to live in New York and California. I don't know how it works, but let's say out of that 12 million, he's making about 6.5 million, 6 million. Good. The question now becomes, well, what do you want? What do you want? Do you want to say, well, hey, I want to be making 20 million a year? Well, if you realize this company's not going to pay you 20 million a year, then you got to figure out, okay, so what can I do? Number one. Number two, am I generating the kind of income on a yearly basis to be able to go out there and get the thing that I want? To me, I think the answer is hell yes. I mean, Stephen A. Smith, if you're making 6 million a year, you could be spending, and some people may say this is risky, you could be buying $4 million worth of property every single year in real estate. Every single year. Hell, every 2 years, you could be buying $8 million worth of property in real estate. So you could become very rich very quickly if you know what the hell you're doing. To me, I think that, and I want to be honest with you, the day Stephen A. Smith understands that he is a business, as he said, but in the sense that you don't need these networks, you have a lot of cachet, you have a pull, you have an audience, that's the day you become free, and that's the day you realize really, really what you can do. You're in a power position, man. You don't need ESPN to do a damn thing for you. You got the money. You have the audience. I would say F it all and go out on my own and control my own damn schedule instead of be doing 45 different shows a week just to make that money. But these are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you guys on the next show. Peace.